link up, baby. You just hit my line for the wind down. It's only one thing on my mind when you come around me. I get lost in where you found me. Want you to use me. You let her confuse me. Don't wanna hide the fact that you make me feel that way. Want you to give me play. I see it in your eyes, you're lonely. Come put that body on me. I hit it right, I will. I treat you right, I will. Trust me, I got you, baby. Know how to make you feel. They can't do you like I will. Nobody do you like I will. I hit it right, I will. I treat you right, I will. Trust me, I got you, baby. Know how to make you feel. They can't do you like I will. They can't do you like I will. Like I will. I treat you right, I will. I treat you right, I will. Trust me, I got you, baby. Know how to make you feel. I treat you right, I will. I treat you right, I will. Trust me, I got you, baby. Know how to make you feel. I hit it right, I will. I treat you right, I will. Trust me, I got you, baby. Know how to make you feel. I hit it right, I will. I treat you right, I will. They can't do you like I will. Like I will. Pick up the phone, little baby. You got me up and I'm wavy. You know I want you to myself. You know you've been driving me crazy. Looking me right in the eye and tell me it's mine. If not, I'ma make it that way. You know I want you. Let me make you share your grace. I've been trying to get you face to face. Fall through and give you ways to waste. I do what it takes. I make them walls sing on your heartstrings. Say your heart. I'll treat you right, I will. I'll treat you right, I will. Trust me, I got you, baby. Know how to make it feel. I'll treat you right, I will. I hit it right, I will. Trust me, I got you, baby. Know how to make it feel. I hit it right, I will. Trust me, I got you, baby. I'll treat you right, I will. Trust me, I got you, baby. Know how to make it feel.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right. So shout out to everyone who is in the room. Shout out to everybody who's coming over from that last stream. If you guys can hear me okay and everything sounds good, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you guys cannot hear me or it sounds bad, then give me a thumbs down or an angry face and I'll work on fixing it. I'm gonna shout out everybody that is in the building early. It's great to see you guys. I'm glad that you are all here. All right. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. We got Denise Scales in the building. Shout out to Wallow J. We got Lavanya Frank. We got Denise Scales with the 3 months of membership support. Throw some flames in the chat for her. All right, 3 months of membership support. Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Carl. Shout out to Carla Lockard. Definitely appreciate you being here. We got Brooklyn Queen with the 8 months of support. Shout out to her. Please make sure that you guys throw some flames in the chat for her. Definitely appreciate it. We got my man John Guillory in the building. Shout out to John Guillory. Good to see you over here, bro. We got Carlton Way in the building. Shout out to Shamika. Please make sure you guys show Shamika some love for the 6 months of membership support. Definitely appreciate it. All right. Shout out to DC Precise. We got my man AB Promotions in the building. We got Robert Taylor, B1. All right. And that is it. So shout out to everybody. It's good to see each and every one of you guys. As you guys can see, the title says Chicago is lit. Part 2, all right, because Chicago's still lit. But before we get into Chicago being lit, it was going down in DC yesterday. Now, This is how bad it is in DC. Your boy Mayor Eric Adams, hip hop mayor, went down to DC to try to get some. To shout out to my man Tony. What's good with it, bro? My man Eric Adams went down there to DC, right, to try to get some federal aid for the migrants. Guess what? Guess what your boy came back like? Guess what your boy came back like? Your boy came back empty-handed. Your boy came back empty-handed. He didn't get not a damn thing, okay? Before we go into that, though, yeah, he didn't get not one ducat. He came back with an empty nest and no ducats. You know what I'm saying? No eggs, no ducats. You know what I'm saying? We are going to talk about, I think the city is called Lukeville in Arizona, where they rearranged the staffing. We literally said that as soon as they rearranged the staffing, it was going to be horrible conditions. We said that once they rearranged the staffing, all the migrants were going to flood to that one particular area and try to rush the gate. You guys remember that? If you guys remember that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't remember that, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Caldona and Black First to Black Spider. More evidence of it, all right? Huge surge of migrants at U.S. border building up again. Again, finite resources to deal with an infinite problem. How do you mathematically work that out is the question.
A deadly surge of migrants at the U.S. border building up once again. In just 24 hours, more than 3,000 people tried to enter the U.S. at the epicenter of the crisis.
And I want to make sure that you guys heard that. That's a lot of information, like literally in the first couple seconds. Within 24 hours, all of this happened. And this is a brand new news report. Like, this isn't something that's from, a couple days ago or something like that. This literally was cut and dropped last night. Facts. If you guys agree with Carlton, give me a thumbs up. Carlton said he should have gone to D.C. to get our ducats, a.k.a. our reparations. Facts. He went to D.C. to get some other people some ducats. He went to go get some pesos. You know what I'm saying?
A deadly surge of migrants at the U.S. border building up once again. In just 24 hours, more than 3,000 people tried to enter the U.S. at the epicenter of the crisis, Eagle Pass. Rosa Flores reports.
The unprecedented migrant surge on the U.S. southern border has forced thousands of migrants, including Lorean's and her 3-year-old son from Venezuela, to wait outside for immigration processing in two states, Texas and Arizona.
So you've been here for hours in horas.
Federal authorities temporarily shutting down international crossings with Mexico in the last week and redirecting port of entry personnel to process migrants. In the Del Rio Border Patrol sector, migrant apprehensions have
So now here goes my question.
per day.
Why is it that we were able to figure out that particular point of entry would get flooded? Like, why were we able to figure that out so easily? But it just, they thought that it was a brilliant idea. Why is that? We figured this out like immediately, like literally as soon as that report dropped, we were like, we was like, that ain't gonna work. Remember we said that? We said that. But they still did it anyway. And look what they're dealing with now. So my question for everybody is, why do you think they did this? And also, real quick, I just want to show you guys this. I'm going to flip one of my channels, right? The Undocumented Bro series is not going anywhere, but I'm going to flip one of my channels and make specific videos and live stream content going more in depth about this stuff than just the overviews that I do on the Undocumented Bro series. So I'm about to put the link in the chat for that channel. I want you guys to go over there and subscribe to it, all right? Some of y'all might be subscribed to it already, but y'all are like the makeover that I did. I put a community post up about it. So you guys will be getting some content on that channel as soon as next week. And I think y'all will like it. trust me, it's going to be a lot different than Undocumented Bros. Similar content, but very different delivery. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully y'all like it.
Days this week, according to a law enforcement source.
We need somebody from D.C. to come over here and see this problem.
Maverick County Sheriff Tom Schmerber, a Democrat, says the influx puts a strain on his limited force.
I don't have the manpower and I don't have the equipment.
His deputies respond to drownings on the Rio Grande.
So, I mean, when it comes to a lot of what they got these Border Patrol doing, they're not really enforcing any boundaries, really. You like the makeover? And shout out to Denise for being a bot enforcer. Appreciate it. Yeah, wait till it's gonna be dope. Just wait. Y'all gonna really like it. You just seeing the makeover, John. Wait till y'all see the content on the channel.
His deputies respond to drownings on the Rio Grande. Scenes like these have happened too often in the last month, making Maverick County the deadliest area for migrants in this 10-county border region, says medical
examiner. So here goes my question. Is it worth dying to get to the United States? Like, seriously. Is it worth dying, though? I mean, because, that looks pretty serious. I just can't see it being worth dying. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if it was like that, then you'd already be dead where you was at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't see it being worth dying. And I mean, they not just, just dying in the regular fashion. You know what I'm saying? Like, they putting their kids in danger. They putting their families in danger. All kinds of people in danger. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not something that I would do, man.
Dr. Corrine Stern.
Have you seen these many drownings in a very short period of time before?
No, not like this, and especially not at this time of the year.
Dr. Stern says in the last week or so, 6 migrant children between the ages of 0 and 15 have drowned in Maverick County alone.
I mean, this is crazy. Like, these people are trying to get over the border. And I mean, they're losing their children as a result of this. Like, their kids is dying. The whole point, I thought, of getting over here was to have a better life for your family. What kind of sense do that make if the trip here ends up deleting your entire family? Like, you working backwards. You know what I'm saying? And the kids don't have no choice. The parents is using bad judgment, and the kids end up being the ones suffering, passing away as a result of this. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jesse Pears. What's good with it, bro?
It's horrible. We shouldn't be burying our children.
Shout out to Sybil. What's good with it?
Shows us the water was about knee-high when she carried her son across the river.
She says that she gets emotional because it's just been a very tough journey. Would you invite President Biden to come here to Maverick County?
It'd be great. It'd be very, very good. I think that it would help him a lot.
In Arizona,
why won't the president meet with us so we can address?
I was just about to ask this question. Has Joe Biden been to the border? Now, here goes my question. I recall at the beginning of when President Biden had gotten elected, Kamala Harris was designated as the border czar. How many of you guys remember that? You guys remember seeing articles and headlines about Kamala Harris, border czar? Do you guys remember that? Because I sure do. So my question is, what has Kamala Harris done about the border at all, since she's supposed to be the border czar?
Won't the president meet with us so we can address community concerns?
The sheriff of Cochise County, a Republican, also calling on President Joe Biden to visit his border state.
This is frustrating.
Shout out to Black Lightning and shout out to Bejewel. What's good with
you?
y'all?
To protect our citizens.
Daily migrant apprehensions in Border Patrol's Tucson sector have nearly doubled in just months, a Homeland Security official says. Smugglers are dropping off large groups of migrants in remote areas, creating a transportation nightmare, according to CBP.
We need the federal government to act.
Arizona's Democratic governor also frustrated with the Biden administration's border response.
We need the federal government to step up and do its job and secure our border.
As for Lorian, she is counting her blessings after surviving the journey.
Lo harías de nuevo? Would you do it again? No. She says that she would never do it again.
Her message for migrants?
She said, no mas. Hey, you hear that, Carlton? She said, no mas. You know what I'm saying? She said, no, 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 no. Shout out to DSV. Hey, they said, would you do this again? She said, no, 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 no. Hey, man, at least she wised up. You know what I'm saying?
Stay home.
Border authorities say on Tuesday.
Hey, homegirl back here has some fresh cornrows. Did y'all see it? How they stay so fresh? You see how clean them parts is? How you hike through the jungle with the parts that clean? See, I know because I got cornrows. And all I gotta do is just sweat a little bit, and I got a little fro on top of my cornrows. Ain't no way she went through there with the parts all clean like that. Ain't no way. Yeah, she said no, 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 no. Man, I don't blame her though, man. She shouldn't have came up here in the first place. She's lucky she made it with her son. You know what I'm saying? So, Mayor Eric Adams went to Washington, D.C. yesterday for no reason, because they basically said, we ain't about to help you with a damn thing. He didn't get any help. He didn't get any assistance. He's going back to New York City empty-handed, and I guarantee you that's not going to have any positive effects on his already sinking approval rating. So let's check out what happened.
Meantime, Mayor Adams was in Washington today, you could say dialing for dollars to bail the city out of the migrant crisis.
This as new polls show his approval rating has dropped to record lows. CBS 2 political reporter Marsha Kramer here now with more. Marsha?
Well, Dana and Dick, Eric Adams is apparently no longer the apple of New Yorkers' eyes. In his trip to Washington, a makeup visit after abruptly leaving the Capitol after an FBI raid did little to convince voters he can bring home the bacon. Reporters wanting to know why the man with the purse strings declined to meet with him. In the annals of power politics, it was an embarrassing moment. Reporters following Mayor Adams to his car with a question about why he's been unable to get federal aid to deal with the migrant crisis.
Is he making this more painful for you? Did President Biden specifically decline to meet with you, Mr. Mayor?
Listen, guys, Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa.
The mayor ducking into his car.
Oh, man. But, that's a good question. And I think it's interesting. They asking him about why he can't get any federal aid as if he's the one approving it versus not. Yeah, she do got a deep voice, don't she? So I want y'all to take a look at this and pay attention to this, because this is kind of weird, right? Joe Biden is the one that's supposed to provide the approval. He's supposed to provide the approval. Eric Adams can't approve his own funds. If he could approve his own funds, he wouldn't even be in D.C. But he was rejected. He's not getting any funding. Now the media is all over him. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Facts. And shout out to Carla for being a bot enforcer. Facts, DeAndre. New goal of 200 likes. Now, do you guys recall when I said, even though Brandon Johnson is out here fronting, he out here faking jacks, you're going to see Chicago and what's going on in Chicago with the walls closing in on Brandon Johnson, you're going to see that start to look very similar to what you see going on in New York City. Here's my question for you guys. Can you see it? Do you see it now? If you see it now, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. If you don't see it, give me a thumbs down.
Is he making this more painful for you? Did President Biden specifically decline to meet with you, Mr. Mayor?
Listen, guys, Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa.
The mayor ducking into his car as a new poll shows the mayor's political future may hang on his ability to prevent the migrant crisis from destroying the city. He needs state and federal aid to do that. The mayor's approval rating has fallen to 28%, the lowest recorded by Quinnipiac University since it started polling 27 years ago. Voters are unhappy with just about everything.
Shout out to TD Hip Hop Media over there, cloud watching.
60% disapprove of his handling of crime. 52% don't like his school policies. 66% turn thumbs down on his budget skills. 66.
Oh, man. Look at these. Man, these are horrible numbers, man. Everything is greater than 50%. That means that people look at Eric Adams and are like, yo, man, you suck. You suck. What y'all think about to happen to him next election?
You got knocked the fuck out, man. The payback's a...
Oh, man. I agree with you, Smoke. You know what I'm saying? I agree with you, Smoke Dog. I think that's exactly what's about to happen to Mayor Eric Adams. Yeah, exactly. What election? What next election? Facts, Denise. Oh, man, it's all bad. Yeah, I got to agree. If you guys agree with Black Lightning, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Those numbers reflect terrible leadership. Terrible leadership. They also reflect the fact that the people don't trust him. They don't trust him. Oh, man. TD Hip Hop Media says, stop mischanneling me. My name is TD Media Group. He said I'm mischanneling him. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. Listen here, bro.
You ain't black.
Oh, man. Let's get it.
Percent say no go to his migrant policies. And experts say his ability to get reelected could hang on dealing with the migrant crisis.
Is his political future dependent on the largesse from Washington and Albany?
It's clear that it is incredibly important.
You know what? I feel bad. I feel bad because people have been through enough. And when I keep mischanneling TD Hip Hop Media, I feel like one of the people that this dude right here is talking about.
Black people have been terrorized.
I feel like I'm doing that to TD.
Black people have been terrorized.
Oh, man. I'm sorry for terrorizing you, TD. Media Group.
Important for the federal and state government to come to New York City rescue, for the mayor to have a platform to run for re-election.
For voters, it's the fear of budget cuts to police and school safety officers and other quality of life issues, and the fear that more cuts are in the pipeline.
Right now, it looks like you have a mayor of the biggest city in the world that cannot find a way to get the governor of the same party to come in and help and keep him from making these very significant budget cuts.
While he didn't find a new pocket of cash in Washington this trip, he knows he has to find it.
It's clear that you could just see the poll numbers, the action.
Man, Eric Adams been yelling at somebody. Where'd his voice go? Y'all hear it? He got like a little bit of, oh man, got a little bit of laryngitis popping off.
The action.
Yeah. I just hard to join. And here's the numbers wasn't right. But all we can do is try harder next time. And maybe you know, give us a couple $1 million. Man, who is he yelling at?
The poll numbers, the action on our national government has taken a toll on New York City. New Yorkers are angry. I join that anger. This is not what we foresaw.
Now, Deputy
Yeah, he's stressed out, man. He under pressure, man. He under pressure. Oh, man. Eric Adams under pressure, man. Shout out to TD Hip Hop Media. TD Hip Hop Media said he's going to take y'all super chats and help Eric Adams out with that $500K for that legal for that legal defense fund. You know what I'm saying?
Mayor Fabian Levy poo-pooed the poll, insisting that crime is down and jobs are up. There's no question, he said, that the city is in a better place under Mayor Adams' leadership. Now, for the record, Michael Bloomberg had a 31% approval rating about this time in his first term, and he got elected 2 more times. So it's not over yet.
No.
Thanks, Mike.
So yeah, man. You know, as stressed out as Eric Adams looks, I actually think he's handling the bad publicity quite well. He's not snapping on anybody. He still seems pretty composed during interviews. And honestly, that's not what they want. They want him to look extremely weak. They want him to look unexperienced. They want him to look like he doesn't know how to handle anything. They want him to look like he's a complete mess. And to me, he just doesn't. You know, it looks like he's in that mind state of, you know, things are serious right now, but he doesn't look like he's just all over the place and hopeless. Do you guys agree with that? If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree with that, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Crew Royalty. What's good with it, bro? B1. So let's check this out. Yeah, unlike the big homie Brandon over there having a meltdown. That Hershey's kiss on top of his head is about to be running down his face after these next couple alderman meetings.
Mayor Adams is at the White House. He's scheduled to have a meeting with the Biden administration in the next few minutes to talk about the migrant crisis here in New York City. Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles is here with what the mayor hopes to accomplish in today's meeting. Darla.
Liz, we just learned only in the last hour that Mayor Adams will be meeting with the White House Office of Intergovernmental Affairs Director Tom Perez. The Adams administration had been working to get on the White House calendar in advance, but had nothing confirmed when he left for D.C. this morning. He rolled the dice that showing up in person might help move the needle forward. Looks like it worked.
This is trip number.
So I mean, he just decided to pull up. I didn't know that. I didn't know that Eric Adams had just pulled up. That's crazy, man. He doing all this and pulling up and doing all this, and he still got these low approval ratings. That's wild. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that Eric Adams is the politician for black people, and you know, I don't think that he's doing anything extravagant for black people, but I don't think that he's earned those horrible ratings that he has either. If we're looking at his overall job as mayor, if we're looking at his job as a black politician and servicing black people's needs, he's getting worse in those polls, if you ask me. But if we look at his job as the overall mayor, I don't think that he deserves those negative ratings. I don't think that he should get 100% approval rating. But at the same time, under 50%, and he's pulling up trying to get this stuff together. And I don't know. That to me, that's just wild. I'm curious as to what Brandon Johnson's approval ratings are. Is there anybody that has seen Brandon Johnson's approval ratings and know what they are? Shout out to John. John says, I have to give Eric Adams credit. He does not look like so many other bootlicks and whining and crying and saying, woe is me. Yeah, I got to agree. Even though he's fighting the wrong battle, if this makes sense, he's fighting the wrong battle right as of right now, currently. If you ask me, you know what I'm saying? We all know he's not fighting the right battle. You know what I'm saying? But he's fighting the wrong battle right, if that makes any sense. He's not looking like a groveling, pathetic underling. You know what I'm saying? He's actually standing up for himself. So, you know what I'm saying? Got to at least give him a hats off for that. And shout out to Denise, because I got to agree with Denise. He definitely got a double negative rating for Brandon Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Carla said Brandon Johnson looked like Giuliani with that brown running down his face. Man, Giuliani was looking horrible. He actually looked like he was melting. His makeup and hair, what was that? The Just for Men was just running all down the side of his face. Why would you come out the house looking like that? Go into an interview knowing that you was going to be in front of a camera looking like that. Why would you do it? He's doing the right thing for the wrong purpose, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? The right thing for the wrong purpose. Like, bro, you're doing all of that for something that not even going to matter, for people that don't even care about you. You know what I'm saying? Just make it make sense.
Mayor Adams in Washington, D.C. for a 10th visit Thursday about the billion-dollar migrant crisis overshadowing his term in office, hit with the lowest approval rating ever of any mayor at 28%.
You could just see the poll numbers. The action on our national government has taken a toll on New York City. New Yorkers are angry. I join that anger.
Adams attending scheduled closed-door meetings with Senator Chuck Schumer and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries to discuss strategies on how to secure more federal funding. But nothing on the calendar to meet with President Biden late Thursday afternoon in a bit of a surprise.
Man, Brandon, I think it might be beef on site with Brandon Johnson and Mayor Eric Adams. I think it might be beef on site. What y'all think? If y'all think it's gonna be fight, beef on site, give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't think it's gonna be fight, beef on site, give me a thumbs down. I think it might be beef on site with Eric Adams and Joe Biden. I think it might just be beef on site. Right. That's the perfect way. That's the perfect way to put it. Yeah, at least he stands his ground, even when he's standing on quicksand. Facts. Where AB Promotions at? AB Promotions know what I'm talking about. Eric Adams about to walk up in there like nature, like, we ain't friends no more. How did it end? Closed war or closed door? We ain't close like we used to be. We ain't friends. He about to walk up in there with that nature plan for all seasons. You know what I'm saying? What y'all know about for all seasons, man? Y'all don't know about that.
The administration agreeing to sit down with the mayor at 5:15 p.m.
We have been committed, have certainly put forth
Look,
resources for mayors to deal with the influx.
The only reason I would like to see that fight, Denise, is because me personally, I think Eric Adams would mop the floor with Joe Biden. That wouldn't even be a fight. That would be a massacre. You know what I'm saying? Like that wouldn't even be funny to watch. Hey, DeAndre, are you in the Discord? Can somebody if somebody is in the Discord, can they send that link that DeAndre just put into the chat into the Discord? Or DeAndre, if you join the Discord, can you throw that link in the chat? Let me see. Because I don't think, like I can't get it. Let me see. Hold on real quick. Oh shit. Hold on. Yeah, I can't get it off of I can't get it through StreamYards. I was just trying to copy and paste it through StreamYards and it wouldn't let me. And real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. If you guys haven't smashed the like button, please make sure you guys take a moment and smash the like button. Also, if you guys have not hit the bell, please take a moment and make sure that you guys hit the bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media. All right. We got 49 people watching. Shout out to everybody that's watching. And we got 44 likes. If everybody can bang on that like button and get us to 70, we'll be on our way.
Of migrants. We have had multiple conversations.
The migrant crisis has forced the mayor's office to make several rounds of severe budget cuts across all city agencies, which last month included the FDNY and NYPD for the first time. Adams also meeting with FEMA Thursday in a bid to try to mitigate these costs with more federal funding.
And there was a real sense of collaboration from the FEMA administrator to assist us in these very challenging times that we're facing in all of these cities.
And Adams says he's working with other cities like Chicago and Denver on how to keep the Band-Aid fresh over this national sore spot.
We're going to have to get the President of the United States involved. He owes it to the American people to fix a broken border.
Now, as for Adams at the White House, the meeting with Perez is closed door. It should be happening right in about 4 minutes, and we'll bring you any developments from that meeting when it concludes.
So I don't think that there's been any significant developments from that meeting. Okay. Now, there's an article from The Messenger that we're going to take a quick look at, and it goes into a little bit more detail about what Eric Adams' purposes were for going to that meeting. Okay. We're going to check that out real quick. Angry New York Mayor Eric Adams back in D.C. to talk migrant crisis, not necessarily with Biden. Now, the thing that I did not know about this is that I didn't know that Eric Adams made this visit without an appointment. Shout out to him for doing that. More power to him for doing that. I didn't know that he had done that. How many of you guys knew that he had went to New York City uninvited and unannounced? If you guys knew that he did that, then give me a thumbs up. If you guys didn't know that he did that, give me a thumbs down. This trip is a makeup for aborted visit last month when Mayor suddenly ditched the White House meeting upon learning on arrival that his top campaign fundraiser had been raided by the FBI. New York City Mayor Eric Adams described himself as angry Thursday while heading back to Washington, D.C. to discuss the Big Apple's $12 billion migrant crisis with officials who weren't set to include President Joe Biden. Now, let me ask you guys this. Why do you think that Joe Biden wasn't at this meeting? Maybe Katsy was down there meeting with Eric Adams. And maybe Eric Adams was meeting with Cats. He said, "What's up, shorty?" So they call you Cat. Why they call you that, shorty? Because you meow or something? That's what Eric Adams said to Katsy. Why they call you that? Because you meow or something? Oh, man. With the mink coat on. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. I can see Eric Adams would be that cat. Hey, listen, baby, it ain't tricking if you got it, baby. It ain't tricking if you got it. You know what I'm saying? I can see that. I can see Eric Adams on that, man. He will be on that. It ain't tricking if you got it, baby. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. You know, I had a hard week. You know what I'm saying? I just need to, unwind. You know what I'm saying? I just need to, relax. Oh, man, that's hilarious. But after meeting with powerful New York lawmakers and the head of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, Adams reportedly scored a last-minute 5:15 p.m. sit-down with some White House officials. So he went up there basically like cold calling. It was unclear with whom the mayor would get FaceTime with before a holiday party being thrown by the White House Office of International Affairs, according to the New York Post, which didn't cite the source of its information. I bet you Eric Adams brought some Ciroc to the party. I got a bottle of Ciroc and some tickets to Madison Square Garden and the Barclays for the first person that give me $2 billion for this crisis up here. I got front row seats with Jay-Z, front row seats with Beyonce, floor tickets for the Madison Square Garden. I guarantee you he was throwing that New York City game. He was throwing that New York City game out there. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. Adams met earlier with Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrat of New York, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, Democrat of New York, and head of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the Post said. Afterward, he reportedly told journalists that the FEMA meeting would open up a menu of things the agency could do to help the city without providing any details. Now, I bet you that I don't know about that FEMA stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about that FEMA stuff. And I think it's interesting that Eric Adams was the most, the most received and the most receptive to the FEMA stuff. Because we all know about the conspiracy theories and the rumors about how FEMA deals with things, which is interesting because some of the allegations about Mayor Eric Adams says that he's all about that particular type of governance. Now, I'm sitting up here like really talking in heavy code. I just want to make sure that you guys are following me and you guys know what I'm talking about when I say the quote unquote FEMA style of governing things. If you know what I'm talking about, then give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, give me a thumbs down. Adams posted a video clip on X, formerly Twitter, in which he said he was making his 10th trip there to seek federal funding and just really send a strong message. We need help. All right. So I'm not going to read any more of this. And the reason why I'm not going to read any more of this is because this seems, for the most part, word for word from the news script that the anchor was reading. So since we have that, it's not necessary for us to, read the entire thing because it's already been, read in that news article that we watched. Now, in Texas, there's a top secret migrant camp, like a trap migrant house. Have you guys ever heard of a trap migrant house? They found one inside of an aircraft hangar in Texas. Now, mind you, this is right in Texas. Texas probably is the, most strict state when it comes to immigration policy and immigration enforcement. And they had a migrant trap house out there running inside of an aircraft hangar. And they claim that didn't nobody know about it. Okay. Top secret migrant camp caught operating out of empty aircraft hangar in Texas. President Joe Biden's lax border policies have created a situation that grows more dystopian by the day. The UK's Daily Mail reported Thursday that the city of San Antonio has operated a top secret migrant camp for more than 8 months. How do you hide something like that for 8 months? How does one do that? They got some skills. I'll tell you that. And here go my question. Why was they keeping it a secret? They was like pops on the Wayans brothers. Shh, don't tell nobodies. We got migrants back there in that trap house over there. And it's top secret. Shh. Now, don't you tell nobody. We had a whole mashup of movies. Right after Pop said that, Dave Chappelle from Blue Streak kicked in the front door and he said, "I'm telling." And here we are. Oh, DeAndre, you need a Discord link? Excuse me. Hold on real quick. That Discord link in the chat's not working, huh? People those links, they're not supposed to expire, but people always say that they end up expiring. If you guys ever try to get into the Discord and you're not able to, please let me know. Like how DeAndre did, so I can put a new link in there. Okay. Oh, shout out to Crew Realty. Yeah, we're gonna look at these approval ratings for Brandon Johnson. He put those in the Discord. Make sure you guys throw some radiation emoji in the chat for Crew Realty. Definitely appreciate it, bro. Oh, shout out to Win Loser Rug for that Discord link. Appreciate you, bro. Let me see something real quick. Now, this ain't just for DeAndre. This is for everybody. Shout out to Bunker TV. What's good with it, bro? Yo, if y'all not subscribed to Bunker, man, go check my man Bunker's content out. He got some good content. He be throwing it down. You know what I'm saying? All right, there you go. All right, DeAndre. All right, so yeah, they had this migrant trap house. UK's Daily Mail reported Thursday that the city of San Antonio has operated a top secret migrant camp for more than 8 months. It was top secret, and yet it was running for 8 months. Located in an empty hangar at the city's airport, the camp houses hundreds of migrants each day at taxpayer expense, according to the report. So now here's my question. Who is this a secret from? Because somebody knew about this shit. Somebody knew about it. Who is this? Who is they keeping it a secret from? Taxpayers paying for it. They had to be keeping it a secret from the taxpayers. And they had to be keeping it a secret from Governor Greg Abbott. That's the only thing I could think of. Because who else would they be keeping it a secret from? You know what I'm saying? Incredibly, elected officials had no idea that the camp existed until a week ago. Until a few weeks ago. So how did they not know? When I found out about this, I lost my mind. San Antonio City Council member Mark White told the Daily Mail, "What the hell is going on next to the airport? Any expansion of migrant holding facilities, I, of course, am adamantly against," he said. "It gets much worse." Marianne Martinez, Texas bureau chief for the Daily Mail, broke the story with an article that featured more than a half dozen photos taken at the top secret site. All right, so we should at some point look at this Daily Mail article. So I'm gonna pull it up, and it'll probably crash my computer. Yeah, this will probably take my computer out. Located in an empty hangar at the city's airport, the camp houses hundreds of migrants each day at taxpayer expense, according to the report. Okay. One photo showed a uniformed man in the foreground with the hangar and a shuttle bus in the background. Others, who looked like guards, lingered near the hangar. A security guard at the secret site told dailymail.com not to photograph the location and tried to force us to leave, though we were on a public road. So, like, as you guys can see, it's not just the Chicago thing where they're keeping all of this shit, quiet and under wraps. Okay. So again, the question that we got to ask is, why are they so invested in keeping all of this stuff under wraps? Why don't they want anybody to know about it? A security guard at the secret site told dailymail.com not to photograph the location and tried to force us to leave, even though we were on a public road. The photo's caption read. That security guard, according to Martinez, also tried to block the reporter's view and said he would not speak to a woman. So this dude was just straight up like, I'm just not speaking to a woman. He was on that Dubai time. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you're a woman? You're not qualified based on your estrogen content. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, San Antonio's officials, those who knew about the facility, confirmed that nearly 400 migrants occupy the hangar each night. On-site photos showed women and children. Migrants are transported from the ATC to the airport in time for their departure and are provided with information and assistance to get them to their gates, it said. Incredibly, no one can testify to the conditions inside a hangar not originally intended for human occupancy. The secret facility where migrants are being kept was not built to be a shelter. Public officials have not been allowed inside, so it's unclear what modifications, if any, have been made to make the space suitable for people to sleep in. Another photo's caption read. I bet you they were sleeping on a hard concrete floor. If y'all think that they sleeping on a hard concrete floor, give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't think that they sleeping on a concrete floor, give me a thumbs down. They up there sleeping on a slab. and loving it too. That's the crazy thing. Sleeping on a slab and just loving it. Giddy. You know what I'm saying? Public officials have not been allowed inside. Why not? We may venture an educated guess. According to the Daily Mail, the city confirmed that the federal government reimburses costs associated with the quote-unquote top secret airport shelter. Thus, not only do San Antonio's taxpayers fund a top secret migrant facility that houses women and children in likely substandard conditions shielded from elected officials, but so do we. In other words, the Biden administration has done this on purpose. It wants this to happen, but does not want you to know about it. Now, that's an interesting notion that I've heard a lot of people say. If you guys agree with that assumption, then give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't agree with that, then give me a thumbs down. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 63 people watching. If everybody could take a moment, smash the like button. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the bell and share the stream to your social media. That would be great. You know what would really be great? It would really be great if we could get that 4K by the end of the year. That's what would be really great. They honestly don't want to talk about it. Republican Representative Tony Gonzalez of Texas said of the administration officials and their border crisis. They will try to get away with whatever we let them get away with. On Tuesday, we let the administration get away with a record 12,000 illegal immigrants crossing into the United States, according to Fox News' Bill Melugin. At least one illegal immigrant this week thanked Biden personally. Really? Meanwhile, useless House Republicans cannot even muster the votes to impeach Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas. Perhaps Biden could send Assistant Secretary for Health Rachel Levine to investigate the San Antonio airport facility. After all, the security guard said he would not speak with a woman. In lieu of that, we would settle for finally closing the border. Man, that's wild, man. I see what they did there. You guys see what they did there? So let's take a look at this poll on Brandon Johnson. There goes your boy right there. That's everybody's favorite mayor. Brandon Johnson gave me some business cards to hand out to you guys. So in case you want your head to look like the tip of the Rocky Mountain, like how his does, you can go to the same barber. So, you know, if you guys are interested in doing that and having your head look like a damn arrow pointing up, all you got to do is just @ me in Discord and I'll send you the information to go get one of the most unattractive haircuts that anybody's ever come up with. Okay? Brandon hitting a high note. Come one, come all. Come one, come all. Come to Chicago. Come to Chicago. Oh, man. Yeah, it is wild. Yo, you notice that too? Shout out to John. Throw some radiation emoji in the chat for John. John said that's wild that him and Eric Adams had the same rating. It's very wild because they're very different. And if now, I think that Johnson actually should be at 28%. I don't think Adams should. I don't think Adams should be that low. I'm saying. New polling shows Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson has a 28% approval rating, as low as one mayor after a national scandal, and another who is about to get booted by voters. Uh-oh. This is from November 15th of 2023. This is from some media outlet called Illinois Policy. Shout out to Flowers. What's good with it, Flowers? Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson only has a 28% approval rating, according to an Illinois Policy Institute poll of 800 registered Chicago voters conducted by Etchelson Insights. Exactly half of those polled from October 18th of 2022 disapprove of how Johnson is handling his job as mayor, and 22% were unsure. Johnson won 52.1% of the vote in the April election. His 28% approval rating is just 1 point above former Mayor Rahm Emanuel following the Laquan McDonald scandal, or former Mayor Lori Lightfoot. In the same month, she placed third in the mayoral election that Johnson eventually won. Usually, a mayor early in a term is more popular with voters. Lightfoot, Emanuel, and Johnson's low scores were all below 30%. The only other mayor who has come close to that scored 33% in 1979. That's when a blizzard hit. Many streets went unplowed, and a few months later, Mayor Michael Balandik's re-election bid failed. When broken down by age, Johnson's approval rating was the highest among those 18 to 29 at 32%, and lowest among those ages 40 through 49 at 24%. His disapproval rating is the highest among those of ages 50 through 64. Now, what do you guys think about that? Shout out to PD Chicago B1. What y'all think about that? Johnson's approval rating on the issues were lowest regarding crime and public safety, with 2 of every 3 voters polled disapproving. So 2 out of 3 is 66%. 66% of people are not happy with Brandon Johnson's job as mayor. He also had majorities unhappy with his handling of housing and homelessness, as well as his management of the migrant issue, with thousands facing a Chicago winter in heated tents. Okay. His approval rating is a sign Johnson needs to change his actions and the policies if he wants more favorable views from voters. The full results from the Lincoln poll can be found by clicking here. So if anybody wants the full results, I'm going to grab them out real quick. Oh, yeah, they got a PDF file. I'm going to put the full results in the Discord. Okay. So the full results will be in the Discord. I'm putting them in there right now. All right, so it is now in there for everyone's viewability. Okay. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to look at why it's still lit in Chicago. And one of the reasons why it's still lit in Chicago is because they have decided to try to put a migrant shelter in Portage Park. They're going to try to put a migrant shelter in Portage Park. And the people that live in Chicago are already setting up protests. Okay. So let's check this out real quick.
We start off with some developing news. A push to offer migrants housing at a former Catholic church is being met with protests. The city wants to use the former St. Bartholomew Church near Cicero and Addison in Portage Park. But today, community members voiced their opposition. They say it's not about the migrants, but about those who already live here. Lexi Suter reports.
Outside the former St. Bartholomew Catholic School, a group of residents are airing their concerns and complaints with city leadership now that the building is slated to become a temporary migrant shelter.
They have no clue what they're doing. They have to take care of their own constituents before they take care of anybody from the outside.
Really don't feel safe, with any new strangers walking around the neighborhood.
People here say a lack of resources and lack of safety are their main issues with the plan. They believe the school should be used for children in the community or to help residents who are homeless, but that won't be the case.
I think it's a crime against the people of the United States of America, and it's time that we stand for what is right.
According to a release from Alderwoman Ruth Cruz's office, the city will move between 300 to 350 migrants into the former school, a partnership that was completed between the city and the Archdiocese. The Archdiocese says it's looking at all of its vacant properties to see which could be suitable to help with housing migrants, while city officials have the final say.
The city could move migrants into this former school as soon as January.
Now, let me ask you guys this question. Do you guys think that that's a good idea for them to move the migrant shelter into that school? If you guys think that that's a good idea, then give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think that it's a good idea, then give me a thumbs down. I don't think that that's a good idea. I also don't think that it's fair. The people in Chicago are getting a really bad deal, and they're kind of on their own with it. They've been doing a good job fighting the battle, but if you guys ask me, they're kind of on their own with it. You know what I'm saying?
They are saying there will be an information session for residents. As soon as we know when and where, we will pass that information on to you. For now, reporting in Portage Park, Lexi Suter, NBC5 News.
Okay, so now there's that. Okay. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. We might actually. Yeah, let's actually look at this. Let's actually take a look at this real quick. This is about the same thing. Portage Park. How many people heard about this Portage Park issue? This must be something that they literally just started when Brighton Park didn't work out. This was the backup plan.
The Chicago neighborhood is set to speak out here against a potential new migrant shelter.
The alderwoman told her constituents there's an agreement to use a closed Catholic school on the northwest side. NBC5's Lisa Chavarria is live in Portage Park for us. And Lisa, we understand this deal is part of a bigger initiative.
That's right, Lauren and JC. The alderwoman is saying it's part of that initiative where churches are working with the city to try to place migrants into temporary shelters to keep them out of the cold. This is one of the locations that she says is potentially going to be used starting as early as next month. And that's where we're hearing from the community. And they're saying that they just do not want this in their neighborhood. And this is something that's being echoed in so many neighborhoods across the city of Chicago. 30th Ward Alderwoman Ruth Cruz told her constituents that the city signed an agreement with the Archdiocese of Chicago to use St. Bartholomew School on Addison Street as a migrant shelter. Cruz says the plans would move in anywhere between 300 to 350 people starting next month. This comes after the state stepped in to stop the controversial Brighton Park.
Yeah, so this is after Brighton Park. All right. Now we're dealing with Portage Park. Now, here goes my question, right? Why is it that when it comes to this, they can move so quickly when it comes to this migrant issue, but they have been kind of moving really slow with their hands in their pockets forever when it comes to dealing with homeless people? That's the for real question that I want to know what you guys have to say about. And also, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 57 likes. We got 62 people watching. If everybody can bang on that like button and get us to 80, that'd be great.
Neighborhood migrant camp. There are concerns over contaminants found in the soil there and what the Illinois EPA called an insufficient amount of testing and remediation done by the city's contractor. The city signed.
Look at this. Oh, look, TD Media Group, formerly TD Hip Hop Media. I got to say it correctly since he threw some ducats in the chat. He says, just throwing you some ducats out of guilt because I got to cancel our show today. Unsubscribe. Everybody throw, yeah, exactly, Black Spider. Everybody throw TD Hip Hop Media some thumbs down and tomatoes in the chat. Boo this man. Boo. Boo. Hold on real quick. Where did okay. All right. Now we got to pull out the big guns now. Hold on real quick. We got to pull out the big guns now. Got to pull out them big guns.
Why are you gay?
Oh, man.
What kind of shit is that?
Oh man. I'm gonna ask one more time.
Why are you gay?
96-month land use deal for the site back in October, which could have meant spending up to $548,000 in lease payments. At the time, the mayor's office said language in the contract allowed them to get out of the deal. When NBC5 Investigates asked yesterday, the mayor's spokesman said there were no updates as it was still under review.
They failed, and they should have been looking for a more sustainable solution starting May 15th when he took office and not waiting until December 6th to get their story straight.
Alderman Ray Lopez, Anthony Beale, and Anthony Napolitano drafted a letter calling for the resignation of 7 members of Mayor Johnson's administration, saying taxpayer funds were wasted. The mayor's office responded, rejecting that request. As for this closed Catholic school turning into a migrant shelter, we're expecting to hear from community activists along with residents in this area.
Do you guys see how Brandon Johnson moves like a tyrant? Like, homeboy moves like a tyrant. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't answer questions. He's not respectful when people have inquiries. He kind of shuts down transparency and viewability of what he's doing. He's very condescending. Do you guys see that? If you guys can see how Brandon Johnson moves like a tyrant, give me those thumbs up. If you guys don't, then give me a thumbs down. Yeah, man, he's Brandon Johnson kind of he don't move real fair for the people. You know what I'm saying?
Around 1:30 this afternoon for a rally and protest. Reporting live in the Portage Park neighborhood, Lisa Chavarria, NBC5 News.
All right, so there you go. So there's that. All right, that's what we got popping off over there in Portage Park. All right, so as you guys know, and we talked about this before, but we going it over again. They trying to run Brandon Johnson out of town. He has upset the aldermen, you know what I'm saying? And the aldermen are coming after him. They are on his aya. You know what I'm saying? They on his aya.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
That's your boy Brandon.
The Chicago City Council Committee is meeting to discuss federal help for asylum seekers. The Immigrant and Refugee Rights Committee meeting started just moments ago. Alder people are expected to echo their previous calls to the federal government to issue work permits to both new migrants and long-term immigrant workers. The committee will also talk about the history of the city's welcoming city ordinance, making Chicago a sanctuary city for immigrants. But this meeting comes the same week as plans for a migrant tent camp in Brighton Park were scrapped after Governor J.B. Pritzker pulled state funding over soil safety concerns. That move came days after Mayor Brandon Johnson's office declared the site safe. Construction on the multi-million-dollar site came to a dead stop as it was nearing completion. That boondoggle prompted 3 Alder people to send this letter to Mayor Johnson yesterday, demanding the resignations of 7 of his appointed top staffers. The letter focuses on wasted taxpayer dollars and what they believe is failed leadership. Ninth Ward Alderman Anthony Beale is one of the 3 who signed that letter.
So they got your boy Anthony Beale in the building. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Anthony Beale, looking like he just got off of a Motown tour bus. You know what I'm saying? Him and the Temptations, they came out with that hit song on behalf of the residents of Chicago. Send them back, send them back, just send them back, send them back, send them back, send them back, send them back. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him, man. Let's get it.
Letter. He joins us now via Zoom to talk about it. Alderman, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
The mayor and city council have faced criticism for several months, really.
Shooby-doop-doop-doop. Send them back. Send them back. Over the border. Send them back. Shooby-doop-doop-doop.
About the migrant crisis. Why do you think the resignations of these top aides would sufficiently address any concerns? I mean, after all, the mayor's spokesperson says the individuals attacks, the letter attacks, are doing very serious work.
Hey, real quick, make sure y'all show some love to my man Hurricane IQ with the 3 months of membership support. Definitely appreciate it. Yeah, man, send them on back. Please go there. Don't go around. When you see that wall, go back home. Don't get on that bus now. Go back home. Back to your land. Oh Oh man, we got the Migrant Crisis Motown remixes. Oh man, Barry Gordy would be proud. You know what I'm saying?
Well, just because they're doing very serious work doesn't mean they're making very serious errors. And they have made very serious errors when you look at trying to put migrant and a tent on a contaminated.
Hit the wall, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the wall, Jack. And don't you come back no more. Oh, what you say? Oh, man. That's hilarious. Oh, man. Hit the wall, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
It's like the community has totally been ignored. The community has been telling the mayor and his entire administration that the site was contaminated, that, there were things on the site that, they've been trying to build a school, parks, and all kind of things on that site, but they were unable to do it because of the contamination. Well, those contaminants just don't go away. And so I think this was done because they were desperate, they were under the gun, and they were totally ignoring the rules and the regulations that are in place to prevent people from being put in harm's way. And so now we have spent tens of millions of dollars on a site that is, is not conducive to be putting migrants on or anybody on. And they're trying to put 2,000 migrants on that particular site. And we've wasted all this money. So thank God the governor stepped in for the safety and the well-being. And you heard the governor himself say that, the administration may want to put people in harm's way, but he's not willing to put people in harm's way. And so this was a total debacle of tax.
Yeah, they singing that one from The Wiz, Carla. Get on down the road. Don't try to cross that bridge no more. Get on down the road. Don't try to climb that wall no more. Oh man, that's horrible, man. The Motown remix for the Migrant Crisis remix.
Taxpayer dollars, the whole process. And, as long as I've been in office, anybody who makes this kind of error that wastes tens of millions of taxpayer dollars, heads need to roll because they show that they're not adequate, they're not competent, and they don't know what they're doing when it comes to spending and leading this particular crisis.
So Alderman Beal, you are crystal clear in your criticism, but what about an alternative? What plan do you have or would you endorse to deal with all of the migrants and asylum seekers that are here in the city right now to house them?
Well, first of all, we need to put a limit. We need to stop the migrants from coming in. That's first and foremost, because we're spending upwards to $40 million a month right now. We cannot afford that. But the ones that are here, I tell you what, there's enough empty buildings here in the city of Chicago to where we could be spending that money to rehab existing buildings that are just sitting there vacant, rehab them. And then when this crisis is over, the community now has a freshly rehabbed building in their community that is now useful for the community to operate. And so that's what needs to be done. Quit trying to pop tents up. Start rehabbing some of the brick and mortar that we have in our communities right now. I mean, I don't want any migrants in my community. My community is obvious, doesn't want any migrants. However, I have about 2 or 3 vacant buildings. One is about 40-unit building that you could probably put a couple hundred migrants in that one. So we have buildings like that throughout the city of Chicago. Let's put those properties back online. And then when the migrants crisis and they move out, then we can move some quality families. And that's how we repopulate our wards that have lost population.
Keeping migrants from coming into the city, though, doesn't seem to be an option for Mayor Johnson and, many members of the Progressive Caucus and many city leaders. With that being said, though, the mayor's been in office now for almost 7 months. Does this give you talk about these 7 staffers that you think should resign, but does this situation give you concerns about the mayor's leadership, his leadership, and also about the strained relationship he now has, we believe, with the governor?
Right. Well, I think that the mayor has shown a lack of leadership and lack of experience when it comes down to managing crises, when it comes down to managing crisis, and that's because he doesn't have quality, experienced people around him that know what they're doing. I can tell you, I've been in office for 24 years. I have more experience than everybody around him combined, and nobody's ever reached out and said, Alderman, can you come in and help us kind of navigate some of this? There are people out there that have experience in managing crises like this, but they're not being leaned on. And so we have people who know nothing about government, who know nothing about dealing with crises, making decisions, and they don't know what they're doing.
Alderman,
and that goes,
funny,
that goes all the way to the top.
We've heard other elected officials say the same in the last couple of days. But, you and Alderman Lopez in particular have been frequent and outspoken critics in the city council, not only this administration, but the last one as well. Some might say you are using this matter to grandstand. Your response?
Well, how do you grandstand when you're trying to protect people from being put on a contaminated site? How do you grandstand when you're trying to protect hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars? I don't think that's grandstanding. I think I'm trying to be the voice of the people of the city of Chicago that are being rolled over by being dictated to, by trying to put a camp in their community who didn't want it, who are, we spending hundreds of millions of dollars. We have never said that we have to take care of these migrants. There's nothing on the books. There's nothing.
And I agree with that. If you guys agree with what he's saying so far, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, then give me a thumbs down. I agree with what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that says that they're required to take care of the migrants at all, except for the fact that they chose that sanctuary city status. But even the sanctuary city status doesn't necessarily justify all of the amounts of dollars that are going out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where the justification for that is coming from. That's coming from Brandon Johnson just dictating stuff.
I think in our records and our laws to say we have to take care of the migrants that come to the city of Chicago to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. When you look at the people here in the city of Chicago who are already suffering, who are already starving for resources, I can do amazing things in my ward if you gave me $100 million a year. I can transform my entire ward with that kind of money.
It's kind of, we're talking about two issues here. One is obviously the boondoggle that happened over the last couple of weeks. And then, of course, how that money should be used instead. But I'm going to have to stop you right there for time purposes.
And clearly, this issue continues to touch a nerve.
Right.
Alderman Anthony Beal from the 9th Ward on the South Side, thanks so much for being with us and your candid thoughts. We appreciate it.
So there's that. I think he should have got more airtime. I find it interesting that they didn't have any time. They let Ray Lopez, put on as much lipstick as he wants to and sit up there and just babble the entire time. But, it is what it is. So let me see. So here's the reaction, right? This dude looks like one of the Blues Brothers, but I believe that he is the lawyer who is handling a lot of the resident concerns in the Windy City. And they're in Brighton Park. And y'all know Brighton Park is people of color park. They get busy over there. They rowdy over there. You know what I'm saying? And it's popping over there. Yeah, and I agree. If you guys, shout out to Bunker. They definitely were trying to throw shots at him. You know what I'm saying? At Alderman Beal. They're being very disrespectful. And they said to touch a nerve to try to say that he was emotional. And honestly, he was well composed and honestly gave very well articulated and legitimate explanations to everything that he was asked. So they were just basically trying to give him the shut up treatment that people think that black males should get, thanks to the Democrat Party and their allies. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Alderman Beal, you know what I'm saying? He did his thing up there. You know what I'm saying? Despite them hating on him and shit.
The first thing I want to say is I'm asking for the resignation of Mayor Brandon Johnson. He needs to resign. He needs to resign now. There needs to be a special election so we can get a mayor who can handle the city of Chicago. Mayor Johnson is...
Shout out to my man, KO Kid Fit. Yeah, Ray Lopez putting on lipstick and eating tacos. Facts. You know what I'm saying?
that he's incompetent. He's proved that he has no communication with any other units of government, let alone this community or any other communities. And we need somebody that can keep a handle on this crisis. The second thing I'm asking for, we already know that the governor...
Nah, this dude right here, I'm gonna give him some advice. Make sure before you do this next time, you take your blood pressure medicine, and before you get on the mic, you might actually want to take a little nitroglycerin tablet. Because this dude sounded like he was about to stroke out. He was so damn mad.
EPA say there can be no construction on this site. But we've known this since 2010, at least, when they EPA issued a letter, what the city has, that says that you cannot just do 6 inches deep with gravel with the child.
Yeah, this dude, shout out to him. This dude is he's part of the grift set. He's grifting it up on the migrant crisis in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? I think he's taking care of those lawsuits that the people of Munson Park are filing, and then he's circling it back like Jen Psaki. You know what I'm saying? Circling it back. You know, circling it back like Jen Psaki, you know what I'm saying, over here in Brighton Park to take care of the people of color park. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so he making his money. Grift set. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at it.
Can dig up. They had to go 3 feet down or more and put virgin soil, clean soil, or concrete. We've known this for a while. Now, Alderman Cardenas, who was elected in 2003, and even Alderman Frias, who was elected before that in 1995, both knew this site was toxic. Alderman Cardenas around 2007-8 tried to put a
So see, you guys remember when we talked about this, right? That is something that we continued to harp on, is that they know that this area is toxic, and they just went about with the plans anyway. They just went on and did whatever they wanted to do, regardless of what they were being told. Didn't do much investigation into the background of what the residents were telling them at all. If you look at the protest signs while all of this was going on in Brighton Park, some of the protest signs even had the type of chemicals listed on them that they found when they did the environmental assessment of the site. But it didn't matter because the papers had already been signed and the decision had already been made. And it had been made without a thorough evaluation of whether the area was suitable or not. That's one of the main reasons why people are not trusting Brandon Johnson's leadership. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, then give me a thumbs up. And if you guys do not agree, then give me a thumbs down. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 73 people watching. Remember, we got the goal, 200 likes. If everybody can smash that like button and get us to 100, we'll be halfway on our way.
School here, and he was told no. They tried to put a park here. They were told no. This was known by the city of Chicago. There's institutional knowledge. Now we've learned how toxic and contaminated this is. First of all, some of these residents and myself were going to be filing in the EPA another complaint and has to join into the EPA situation. We must file a complaint with EPA. This site must be cleaned up, not just for the migrants who my heart goes out to, who they wanted to live on toxic land, but to the residents. This is what, 30 to 50 feet that way, 15 feet that way to houses, businesses. We're not far from the church, from the school. And you want to have this type that you clean up in decades? That was zinc smelt, that was for the railroad, that had hazmat sites. This needs to be cleaned up for the community now. They waited decades for this to be cleaned up. The previous alderman wanted it cleaned up for schools, for parks, and it wasn't done. And then Brandon Johnson.
See, this is what I'm talking about, oh boy. He's screaming so loud.
Wants to come in without any knowledge of environmental remediation. Wants to dig 6 inches down in the winter when the stakes in the tents will go deep.
He's screaming so loud, it's messing the video up. Y'all see that? He's screaming so loud that it's messing the video up. Like, bruh, please, homeboy, relax. Right. Right. That's what I'm saying. He tripping, man. Like, bruh, put some of that nitroglycerin under your tongue and relax before you pop a vein in your head. Got the audio skipping. Facts.
Deeper than that and put gravel. That is incompetence. That is brutal ignorance. That is putting the migrants in danger. It's putting the residents in danger. And when they were doing construction, that was all going up into the air. And you know what else has gone up in the air? Our tax.
Hey, I don't know why this part had me dying laughing right here. It's going up in the air. You know what else is going up in the air? Our tax dollars. Man, that part had me crying laughing. Oh, man, that shit had me dead. It's toxins, and they're going up in the air. You know what else is going up in the air? Your tax dollars. This dude, wow, man.
Knowledge, environmental remediation. Wants to dig 6 inches down in the winter when the stakes of the tents will go deeper than that and put gravel. That is incompetence. That is brutal ignorance. That is putting the migrants in danger.
Hey, he's spitting all over the place. Look, you can see this. You can you can see the phlegm and spit fly out like out of his mouth and hit his ear.
Wow. They waited decades for this to be cleaned up. The previous alderman wanted it cleaned up for schools, for parks, and it wasn't done. And then Brandon Johnson wants to come in without any knowledge of environmental remediation. Wants to dig 6 inches down in the winter when the stakes of the tents will go deeper than that and put gravel. That is incompetence. That is brutal ignorance. That is putting the migrants in danger. It's putting the residents in danger. And when they were doing construction, that was all going up into the air.
It was all going up into the air. Hey, he really started like right there at that point. He was lost, like he was lost in the role. Like he, you know what I'm saying? Like up until then, everything was performative, but at that point, he was lost. He was lost in the role. He was like, "Man, I'm doing this. Like we going all the way with it." Oh my God, man, that is hilarious.
Competence. That is brutal ignorance. That is putting the migrants in danger. It's putting the residents in danger. And when they were doing construction, that was all going up into the air. And you know what else has gone up in the air? Our tax dollars. Our tax dollars have disappeared. And you know what makes me want to do? It makes me want
to... Yo, he about to flip out, man. He about to flip out. Hey, he about to flip out like George Costanza on Seinfeld.
Air. And you know what else has gone up in the air? Our tax dollars. Our tax dollars have disappeared. And you know what makes me want to do? It makes me want to vomit.
What? I told y'all, man, these motherfuckers in Brighton Park are ignorant. The whole neighborhood is ignorant. He doing way too much. Hey. Oh my God. I'm dead, man. They doing way too much, man. Way too much. He turns up.
Our tax dollars. Our tax dollars have disappeared. And you know what makes me want to do? It makes me want to vomit. It makes me want to vomit. It's so disgusting. People here have gotten sick.
They should have put the camera on him. He did some type of card trick.
Down in the winter when the stakes of the tents will go deeper than that and put gravel. That is incompetence. That is brutal ignorance. That is putting the migrants in danger. It's putting
somebody need to do a skit. Man, Grind and Motivate need to do a skit of this. It is crazy that these motherfuckers are dead serious and this shit is this damn funny. They are dead serious, but this shit is hilarious. Oh my God. I told you, man, the people in Brighton Park are ignorant.
Wanted it cleaned up for schools, for parks, and it wasn't done. And then Brandon Johnson wants to come in without any knowledge of environmental remediation. Wants to dig 6 inches down in the winter when the stakes of the tents will go deeper than that and put gravel. That is incompetence. That is brutal ignorance. That is putting the migrants in danger. It's putting the residents in danger. And when they were doing construction, that was all going up into the air. And you know what else has gone up in the air? Our tax dollars. Our tax dollars have disappeared. And you know what it makes me want to do? It makes me want to vomit! It makes me want to vomit. It's so disgusting. People here have gotten sick, including some of the plaintiffs and residents. They've gotten sick here. They've gotten sick because this is a toxic site that they perform construction on, throwing everything into the air. They didn't remediate it. They performed construction on it. Look at this aberration here, this disgusting aberration. Now, McCormick Center had 3,000 beds during COVID that were never used, and ventilators never used. Again, complete loss of money. That's a location that's not by residential housing. That's not going to disrupt the community. 2,000 people dropped in the middle of a community is disruptive, especially a community in flux that was white ethnic, then turned Hispanic, mostly Mexican, immigrant, and then Chinese, Asian, mostly Chinese. Most of my clients and many of the residents here are immigrants themselves.
There it is.
They come from Mexico.
There it is. There it is. I've been saying that. That's why I be calling this People of Color Park. Yeah, right, Ronnie. Facts. He said, we're about to make this as entertaining and as over the top as we possibly can. Yeah. That's why I be calling Brighton Park People of Color Park.
Residential housing. That's not going to disrupt the community. 2,000 people dropped in the middle of a community is disruptive, especially a community in flux that was white ethnic, then turned Hispanic, mostly Mexican, immigrant, and then Chinese, Asian, mostly Chinese. Most of my clients and many of the residents here are immigrants themselves. They come from Mexico, or their parents came from Mexico. They've come from China. They still speak the languages of their native lands. These are immigrants themselves. They speak with accents. They speak Chinese. They speak Spanish. So what about the immigrants here?
Facts. So now, when I was saying this, right, people will ignore stuff, right? People will ignore stuff to try to decrease the impact of something that they don't want to have to deal with, right? But we've been saying this. We've been saying this, and now he just came out and verified it. People of Color Park is up. That's what it is. Now, you guys remember that article that we talked about yesterday where they said the black residents of Chicago are filing a lawsuit, and they refer to the black residents of Chicago as the residents of Brighton Park. And I said the residents of Brighton Park is not black Chicago. That's people of color Chicago. These people right here, they just want to keep all the free shit to themselves.
They became citizens or illegal residents that are long-term residents of this community. What about the community here? And that's what we need to talk about, not just the migrants. We need to help the migrants, no doubt, and my heart goes out to them. And what the situation is a federal situation that the federal government needs to step in and take control of and fund and vet people and then spread people out through the entire United States so one city doesn't have 20,000 like Chicago or New York City that's had 50,000, because that's untenable. And the city and state budgets that are junk bond ratings have deficits and debts cannot afford it. So what I'm asking for now is to clean up the site for the residents, to find another location for the migrants. McCormick Center did have 3,000 beds at one time. I'm also asking for an audit of all the money that was spent, an audit of all the money that was spent here. The city spent about $100 million on this migrant situation. The state spent about $500 million, and Governor Pritzker said he's budgeted $350 million per quarter. 80% of that has gone to salaries, including hiring out-of-state workers, including out-of-state companies, nurses, social workers, and the like. And I'm not sure what they're doing. This is a get-rich-quick scheme for some people. It's a profit-driven enterprise. It's the immigration.
So is immigration. Immigration is what he's saying is the exact same thing for each and every one of those people behind them, which is how they skipped past every single struggle and issue that we've had to deal with in this country and never gotten rectification for it. And these fucking entitled fucks just come here and get to do this shit for free and had a nerve to be anti-black. This is a ridiculous optic. This is a ridiculous optic. These immigrants who came here for a free check, trying to cut off the other immigrants for the free check. And the government been shitting on us ever since they came in contact with us. These motherfuckers came here because they wanted to. You know what I'm saying? These people have no story to tell. You have no story to tell. Your story involves purchasing tickets. Nobody care about that shit. I can go to the airport tomorrow and purchase tickets. It's ridiculous. Not even a comparison. Exactly. Shout out to DeAndre. DeAndre says the battle for handouts is what this is. Facts. Especially here in Brighton Park. Sons and daughters of immigrants. Yeah, the people of Munson Park are not sons and daughters of immigrants.
An industrial complex that's profiting off the misery of these poor people escaping this country that's violent and is an anarchy. Now, I want to open up to questions, but I also have some people that want to speak here. Please.
Good afternoon. My name is Melinda Achilles. I just want to thank you all, the media.
People of Colored Park. People of Colored Park. And these people are racist. That's why Chicago's so segregated how it is. You just see no people of color in the Munson Park.
Yeah, they came over and sit with us and spoke with us and hang on with us. We really, really appreciate it. What else I can say? I'm very happy. I'm very happy we're not going to have these camps in here. I'm sorry for those people because we all immigrants and I feel
we
for
know.
them, but
We know. We know. Do you guys remember when we were watching the Brighton Park City Hall meeting? And I just had to stop for a minute and just clown the people at the City Hall meeting because of how ridiculous it looks. Like, you got these people that can barely speak English, literally like trying to say that they don't want migrants in their community when your community is literally an entire community of migrants. Like, that just sounds and looks insane. It's ridiculous. This entire thing is just ridiculous.
we don't want 2,500 in here. What about us? What about our water, our street, and everything else?
Literally, the people of Brighton Park, the people of Brighton Park and the migrants all have some place where they can go. The thing that irks me about this, these people are the ones, they got the nerve to be anti-black. These people got the nerves to snatch your money out of your hand, which is why I don't feel that anybody should be giving them any money. But they got the nerve to snatch your money out of your hand after you paid for something and tell you to get the hell out of the store. I bet you mad people from Brighton Park got businesses in a Munson Park and are rude as hell and call the police all the time.
Thank you to the attorney. Thank you to everybody. God bless, and just can say, that is a help calling an Indian. Really.
They up here doing war cries. They up here doing war cries, sounding like the movie Avatar and Cobra La and shit. but then will have the nerve to be anti-black. Yeah, exactly. What was that? Notice how the closed caption didn't even know what that was.
Appreciate and if each one of you guys, if got any question for me, I will be happy to answer it.
And this young lady is one of our plaintiffs. She's a named plaintiff on the lawsuit. And there's other plaintiffs here, and there's other plaintiffs that we could talk to. And it's a mix of residents that are long-term residents, Mexican American, Mexican immigrants, Asian American, Chinese, and as well as white ethnic and veterans who are all on the
white ethnic and veterans. Now, do you guys see he made? There's no black people there, none. I want to make sure that everybody sees that. Make sure that everybody sees that. Like, here's the bonus point, y'all. Like, here's the bonus point, guys. We're safe. There's no N-words involved in this. Do y'all see this?
If each one of you guys, if got any question for me, I will be.
This is safe Chicago. This is Fox-friendly Chicago. This is Fox-friendly Chicago. This is what I'm telling people, man. Stop trying to rationalize with these people.
Be happy to answer it.
And this young lady is one of our plaintiffs. She's a named plaintiff on the lawsuit. And there's other plaintiffs here, and there's other plaintiffs that we could talk to. And it's a mix of residents that are long-term residents, Mexican American, Mexican immigrants, Asian American, Chinese, and as well as white ethnic and veterans who are all on this lawsuit together.
No N-words. No N-words. Just the way America likes it. I want to make sure that you guys get that. No N-words. Just the way America likes it. So I want you guys to pay, because peep game, understand this. You got to think of these things in the long term, right? In a few generations, these people right here will be fully white. The migrants who are here now, who there's so many of, will be these people here. These people right here. They'll be the new people of Colored Park, the new Brighton Park. And that's why Africa needs to start shutting it off. People need to start not opening their hands to this stuff. People better wake up. Or don't. Or don't. You know what I'm saying?
Could you spell your name? Could you spell your name, please? My name is Ermelinda, E-R-M-E-L-I-N-D-A. Last name, Quiles. Q-U-I-L-E-S. I live right here, right across the street from this garbage.
Do you speak Spanish?
Yes, I'm Spanish. I'm from Puerto Rico. But, bueno, diciendo, me siento bien feliz y le doy.
Now, this is what's ridiculous. If you're from Puerto Rico, you're not an immigrant. If you're from Puerto Rico, you're a United States citizen. So what? These people don't even know about their own status. Like what the fuck? What?
Gracias a todos, al abogado.
Like, I'm not trying to be funny, but like, you're not foreign. That's crazy, man. Look, man. Right, exactly. And the news just keep putting the mic in her face, but they didn't want to listen to Anthony Beale. This is what I'm saying, man. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all, man. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. People need to stop with like the respectability politics and like the politeness and all that, man. You got to go with your eyes glowing and your fangs out. People should be listen, man. People need to build up their neighborhoods and get their neighborhoods so nice where there can be so much commerce built there. And then once we create the best and biggest neighborhoods, make a valiant effort to make sure that we're not being shy about the fact that we're blocking people out and only letting people in selectively. And since everybody wanted to get on the same team as us, as far as like us, any type of people of color coalition goes, the only type of people of color coalition that we should be having as far as when it comes to doing business and when we're dealing in competition with people like this is the light-skinned, dark-skinned coalition. That's the only people of color coalition that I know anything about. Everybody else trying to be something that they not. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand how these people can carry themselves like this and just not be completely embarrassed of just going around just being just completely defeated. How can you raise like they actually raise their kids like this, man? They raise their kids. Oh, when you come to the United States, you keep your head down and don't you say too much. Don't make too much noise, man. Are you serious? They teach all that humble, fake gratitude. Unbelievable.
Y gracias a ustedes que siempre estuvieron con nosotros. ¿Por qué no lo queríamos aquí? Por nuestras familias, por nuestros hijos. Yo tenía mucho miedo. Ni que me quise abrir mis ventanas para mirar.
Shout out to Bunker TV. Bunker TV said, all my neighbors, unfortunately, are some burritos. I bet you one thing that you never find on the ground is change.
Porque tenía miedo, porque aquí me iban a asaltar. Los chinitos me ayudaron, me salvaron. Mi compadre lo querían quitar su troca frente de mi casa. Le doy gracias a Dios que ganamos. Si no, íbamos a seguir luchando. Porque dicen que la Casa Blanca no se puede mover, pero sí se puede mover para hacer ruido. No vamos a seguir vomitando. Ahora, el agua que llega a la casa, el agua sale negra todavía. Y eso que la abrimos.
Yeah, we don't need to listen to that. That's actual live action babble. You know what I'm saying? So there's a senator that reacted to what was going on in Arizona. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody that's watching. If you guys haven't smashed the like button yet, please make sure you guys take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not hit the bell, please take a moment, make sure you guys hit the bell. And also, if you guys can share the stream to your social media, that would be great. But here goes that migrant surge at the southwest border. Now, I'm pretty sure because I keep – wait a minute. What does this say? Okay, yeah. So this is the surge at the southwest border. This is in Lukeville, Arizona. All right, because it's still going down in Lukeville, Arizona. Okay. It's still going down in Lukeville, Arizona. And we're going to check it out. But actually, though, before we check that out, there is something that I want to make sure that I show you guys. This is real small. How many people in here are from California? If you're from California, you know what I'm saying? Throw some flames in the chat. Anybody from the west side? Coming from the west side. Hey, Dr. Grant. Yay area. Hey. E40. Hurricane, but you can call me Slurricane. Hurricane, strong enough to start a engine, man. What? San Diego County approves another $3 million for migrant aid. Womp, womp, womp. Look at this. Look at this. Let's watch this video right here.
Chairwoman Vargas, that motion passes with Supervisor Desmond voting no, all other supervisors being present and voting aye.
The 4-1 vote sets aside more federal COVID relief money for people who arrive in San Diego.
So you don't even have to follow the law. You know what I'm saying?
Chairwoman Vargas, that motion.
You don't have to follow no laws. Okay? You do not have to follow any laws, and you will get money set aside for you. That's crazy. Oh, yeah. E40, man, and the click. What? Man, some of the best rappers was from the Bay. You know what I'm saying? Rapping Forte, Spice One. You know what I'm saying? Too Short. The Bay has some of the best rappers. But it's some other good rappers in Cali too, though. That's like not from the Bay or not from LA. You know what I'm saying? I forget where San Quinn is, but I like San Quinn's music too. Y'all know who San Quinn is?
Motion passes with Supervisor Desmond voting no, all other supervisors being present and voting aye.
The 4-1 vote sets aside more federal COVID relief money for people who arrive in San Diego. Since September, Customs and Border Protection officials have released 42,000 migrants into the county. Most of them only stay.
Hey, hold on real quick. I just got to ask y'all this question because I just want to know if it's just me. Is this not the most intimidating barbed wire that y'all have ever seen that literally doesn't do anything to anybody? Like when they showed a border barbed wire, that border barbed wire be looking like it's a problem, don't it? But literally it's stopping no one from doing anything.
Officials have released 42,000 migrants into the county. Most of them only stay in San Diego for a day or two before moving on to their final destination.
Now, here go my question, y'all. How many people knew that it was going down like this in San Diego? It's popping in San Diego too. It's popping in San Diego too. Shout out to Soapbox Moments. What's good with it, bro?
The funds are managed by the South County nonprofit SBCS. The county's chief administrative officer, Helen Robbins-Meyer, praised their work.
I also want to say that SBCS and the partners that have been out there have done an extraordinary job.
However, several nonprofits criticize the way SBCS is managing the money.
We do not support an additional allocation of funding while serious questions remain about the lack of accountability and transparency of the current contractor, SBCS.
Lindsay Toslowski is the executive director of the Immigrant Defenders Law Center. She and other community leaders asked the supervisors to distribute this new round of funding to other organizations. Board Chair Nora Vargas recognized this growing tension in San Diego's nonprofit community.
We're fighting each other, and we can't have that because no matter what, this is going to continue to happen. The numbers are not stopping.
See, so I want you guys to pay very close attention because it's not just me saying this. Like when I tell you that this is a infinite problem with finite resources to deal with it, like you're literally seeing that. And now you're seeing people actually using that terminology. people are actually saying the same thing. So now it's not just me saying it, but I've been saying that for a long time, though. I've been saying that for a very long time. Now it's not just me saying it. And of course, you know, none of these politicians or any of these people are going to give me credit for saying that, even though I said it first. But we're looking at it. We're literally watching this play out. Shout out to Deneen Grant, because Deneen Grant has been around. Shout out to Mimi McCoy, too, because Mimi McCoy has been around, too, long enough to know about the post-supremacy era. Y'all remember? When I went on TD Hip Hop Media's channel and TD Hip Hop Media asked me to talk about the post-supremacy era that I used to talk about on my channel? Y'all looking at it right now. This is it. This is the transition. Shout out to DeAndre. DeAndre said they be cloud watching BLR's Undocumented Bros series. Bro, you know they be loving Undocumented Bros. They be mad as hell, but they be laughing at the jokes. They be having their finger right on that flag to report my shit. But then, you know what I'm saying? Them jokes just be too funny, and they be like, nah, we can't even do it.
Vargas says she'll continue to ask the federal government for more money. Gustavo Solis, KPBS News.
So, yeah, so there's that. Let me see. Hold on real quick. All right, yeah. So the San Diego County Board of Supervisors now has set aside $6 million to help migrants being released into San Diego. And they say it's not enough. So it's not enough. Okay. Apparently it's not enough. I want to make sure that this is clear, said board chair Nora Vargas. The county can't sustain this. So there it is again. The county can't sustain this. We must continue to implore the federal government to take responsibility. So now what I want you guys to pay very close attention to is, if you ask me, what we're seeing right now is we're seeing validating evidence that the federal government controls the mainstream media. I mean, if this isn't evidence of that, like if this doesn't validate that, I don't know what else does. I don't. Now, why would I say that? I want to ask you guys. I want to ask you guys, why would I say that? If this does not validate that the federal government determines the mainstream media narrative, I don't know what does. Now, why would I say that? The reason why I would say that is because, as much as everybody is saying that it's Brandon Johnson's fault in Chicago, what is Brandon Johnson's fault is a lack of leadership and a lack of transparency. Migrants inflowing to the city is not his fault. Mayor Eric Adams, his issue is throwing black people under the bus. You know what I'm saying? Caping for migrants first, realizing that nobody has his back, standing up to Joe Biden, but still caping for the migrants. However, migrant inflow is not his issue. He didn't cause that issue, and he hasn't contributed to it either. Now we're out on the West Coast in San Diego. The people out there in San Diego keep saying that this is not sustainable. None of the people who have been saying that this is not sustainable are getting interviewed by the media or by the mainstream media, but all of their opposition is getting interviewed, and the opposition is telling everybody's just mismanaging their money. Everybody's just mismanaging it. Everybody. New York is mismanaging it. Chicago is mismanaging it. Now, I know Chicago and New York have some shady deals going on. I haven't heard nothing about no shady deal in San Diego. So what that basically shows is that even though they might have some shady deals going on, those shady deals that they have going on are probably not enough money to cause that big of an issue. even if they didn't do the shady business deals, shout out to Carla. Carla been botting forcing for a while. She needs some help. Even if the shady deals weren't around, they still wouldn't have enough money to deal with this issue. And the reason why they wouldn't have enough money to deal with this issue, and the reason why they'll never have enough money to deal with this issue, is because this is an infinite problem with a finite amount of resources. And shout out to Mimi for hitting the Nightbot. And also, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed the like button yet, please take a moment. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not shared the stream to your social media, please take a moment and share the stream to your social media. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my backup channels or follow me on any of my other social media, please take a moment and make sure that you do that as well. You just never know when YouTube might decide to get weird. So now here it says the board voted on Tuesday to allocate $3 million to its Migrant Welcome Center. This on top of another $3 million that the board spent in October. So $6 million. Let me ask you guys this question. When how much money was spent to help after Jim Crow for black people? How many checks did we get cut like this? Because this is a check getting cut. $3 million. That's on a memo line of a check. That money comes from the federal government's C-19 era American Rescue Plan. Tuesday's 4-1 vote came after 90 minutes of tense public debate. Some speakers didn't want public funds to go towards non-citizens. Many argued that the federal government, not county taxpayers, ought to fund humanitarian programs. I would say that I agree, but I don't even think that our federal government should be funding humanitarian programs. I think that our federal government should be funding us. Give us the damn money. You funding stuff all over the place elsewhere. What did that Anna chick from Young Turk say? Give me the money. Ain't that what Anna said? She said, give me the money. That's what I'm talking about. Give me the money. Shit. I've never seen so many people looking at so many places to spend some damn money. You want to make somebody rich? Just drop the shit off in front of my house. I'll take care of it. Right, exactly. DeAndre know what I'm talking about. Give you the money? No, give me the money. Facts. That's the first and last time that Anna spoke facts. Supervisor Jim Desmond, the lone no vote, said the county doesn't have a long-term plan. There is no end in sight, he said. We've already given $3 million 2 months ago, and then here we go again. It's DMX. We writing checks. Which migrants is next? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is ridiculous. It just don't stop. I keep telling you guys, a finite issue, or I'm sorry, an infinite issue with finite resources. That's this. That's this. So, yeah, we got all this stuff right here. And we're not going to finish this article right here. I think we might talk about this article on the first episode of Undocumentados. That's what I think we might do. So we're going to take a look at this over here. Yeah, facts. Shout out to Frank Lucas. 10% for me. Another 90% for me. Facts. The best kind of business deal.
Klepp, who's been covering this situation in Luke for the last couple of weeks. So you were surprised as well to see them coming from our right instead of our left. We think maybe they came through the port that's actually closed right now.
Yeah, we don't know. There's some reports of another border breach out to the east. Things keep developing here. Every time I come to Lukeville over the last 2 weeks, I get off the road and turn right, start heading west to check out where the migrants are coming from. But again, things still developing here at the Arizona border. And as things still develop here at the Arizona border, Senator Kyrsten Sinema is in D.C. trying to work on bipartisan immigration legislation. There's no end in sight to the mass migrant crossings in Lukeville. Now, local Mexicans have come to sell water and food through the wall. Some are giving it away for free.
It's very sad and very ugly here. Imagine spending the whole night and it's so cold. In the morning, I want to bring something warm to their stomach.
Single adult men wait for days as Border Patrol works to...
Hey, hold on real quick. Listen to this. Let's see something.
Now, local Mexicans have come to sell water and food through the wall. Some are giving it away for free.
Hey, so shout out to the Passport Bros. You know, the Passport Bros be going all over the world looking for love. And on this news report here on Channel 9, they just said that at the border, they're giving it away for free. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't even think you need your passport. You could just stay on the one side and talk to one of them people and they'll get you together.
It's very sad and very ugly here. Imagine spending the whole night and it's so cold. In the morning, I want to bring something warm to their stomach.
Single adult men wait for days as Border Patrol works to process them all. This man hopes...
Why when they said single adult men, they showed all black men? Now, listen, I'm going to tell y'all something, right? When they say single adult men and then they show all black men, that's sexualizing black men. Now, like a lot of times, all we ever talk about is how women get sexualized. Women get sexualized in a different way. But that's sexualizing black men in an effort to put a violent target on our backs. If those men allegedly if they don't have no documents, then technically we don't know how old they are. Some of them could be some LeBron James size 17, 16, 15-year-olds. That's what they do to allow them to justify killing our young children, our young male children. Oh, I thought it was a grown man. No, you didn't. How do you age in dog years and we don't crack and you thought one of us was older than one of you? Like, stop. That didn't happen. You know what I'm saying?
This man hopes he'll be next in line.
My name is Abdelrazak. I'm from Morocco.
Many of the migrants here are also from Africa, as Razak says he wants a job and a new start in America.
I'm saying to myself, this is my time. I go to get my dreams.
Senator Sinema tells me from D.C. these economic migrants shouldn't qualify for asylum claims.
We've got to change the law so that the folks who are coming in to claim asylum are actually facing asylum.
The government accepts claims only for fear of persecution in a migrant's home country because of race, religion, nationality, social group, or political opinion. In fiscal year 22, less than half of all asylum claims.
Honestly, for real, we Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, FBA, we have more of a legitimate gripe to seek asylum in other countries, and we would actually be accepted than these people have coming to the United States. Everybody that comes to the United States, for the most part, these people come from ethno states. They're not dealing with racism where there's a quote-unquote controlling group. And even if it is some type of controlling group interculturally, in most cases, it's the same race. We got a long history of being persecuted here in the United States. United States is one of the only places in the world that's ever persecuted people based on race. And we ain't all over the place at the border. One of the very reasons why they allow people to immigrate here is the main things that happened to us, and we ain't left yet. But the Democrats are trying to come up with some twisted story talking about we're immigrants too. No, we're not. We are not immigrants. Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, none of us are immigrants. We don't have anything in common with these people, except for the fact that these people, where they're coming from, their countries oppressed some of our ancestors because their countries practice anti-Black racism too, especially Spanish-speaking countries, especially Spanish-speaking Catholic countries. They just as dirty as the damn British in regards to being OG white supremacists. South America, very accepting of World War II refugees on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Go look up the Confederados. I did a video about the Confederados. How many people know who the Confederados is? If you know who the Confederados are, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, then give me a thumbs down. There's a city in Brazil that's called Americana. Go look up that city. They be doing antebellum plays and Civil War reenactments and shit. These people are crazy. The entire world gets energy off of people harming us, man. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons why we got to start. We got to start. You know what we got to start doing?
Or granted by U.S. courts.
How many people are being released into the country without any interview about whether or not they have a legal claim to this country?
Lastly, saying it's past time for Congress to
find bipartisan agreement on policy changes that would actually slow the flow of the migrants who are seeking entrance to our country.
And Pat, as you talked about at the top of the show, Pima County finding money. Many of these migrants here behind us will end up in shelters in Pima County, but now that's state money that they're finding, not federal money, which Pima County has been using since the beginning of this crisis to deal with what's going on with the migrant surge.
It was also interesting to see when we were a mile and a half west of here where the migrants were lined up, we saw Mexican police and Mexican army members over there. And I'm wondering if that's why we didn't see those migrants suddenly come in to the east of us.
But word from the other reporters on the ground that we've been talking to, they showed up for a very brief amount of time and got out.
Maybe just show for the cameras. Yeah. All
potentially.
Right. All right, Adam. Thank you very much.
All right. So there's that. Okay. So let me see what else we got. So now we're moving to Denver, okay? Again, because like I said, most people on YouTube, they don't cover Denver, they don't cover Arizona, they don't cover Texas. They only cover New York and they only cover Chicago. You know what I'm saying? And that's because New York and Chicago bring the views. And I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand. I do my YouTube channel for people to watch it. Everybody does their YouTube channel for people to watch it. There is no reason for any content creator to feel guilty because they're looking for views. You would be a complete idiot wasting your time if you did YouTube videos and said, I don't want anybody to watch it. How stupid is that? Yes, I want people to watch my videos. I have no shame in saying that. There's literally no one that can make me feel bad about saying that. I put a lot of time into my content. I put a lot of effort into my content. I put a lot of customization into my content. And I hope that there are people that find it, you know, appealing to watch. Yes, I want people to watch my content. You know what I'm saying? Call me a grifter. You know what I'm saying? Say whatever. I don't care. If you don't watch it, somebody else will. If you say you don't watch it, 9 times out of 10, you will still sit your ass there and watch it. You just won't say anything. Don't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? I try to do things to the completion. And the reason why I try to do things to the completion is because there's a lot of interlocking parts to a lot of different scenarios. And if you only focus on one particular part, there's a huge part of a story that you may miss. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man, get you some rest, DSB. Hope you feel better, bro. So we're going to look at what's going on in Denver, because Denver has a migrant crisis too. People that have been watching the Undocumented Bros, if this is something that you watch in the morning or whatever, you know what I'm saying, or something that you watch throughout the day, or you just happen to like this series, so you know something that you watch all the time, you know that we've touched on Denver a bunch of times. The mayor of Denver has now come out and is admitting that the city is in crisis as a result of the migrant crisis. So now what you see is these mayors who at first were saying, oh, you know, it's a sanctuary city and it's not that bad and this, that, and the other. Now they're saying it. Another reason why I do all of these cities is because I want you guys to see the common themes that they all have. They're trying to make Eric Adams sound like he's crazy. Oh, you know, he's expecting Joe Biden to give him money. When you look at San Diego, when you look at Chicago, when you look at Denver, all of these cities are expecting the federal government to give them money. So something is going on where the federal government is letting these places sink. And if you ask me, that right there is something that people really, really, really need to focus on. Now, my question for you guys is, why are they letting these places sink? What's the benefit in that? Why are they doing that? Who is that helping? How is that helping? Let me know what you guys think.
With a crisis at the border, a record 12,000 undocumented migrants stopped in a single day by Border Patrol this week. And as Julia Ainsley...
Now, see, you see how Deneen said that this is an invasion? Look at those numbers. What do you guys think about those numbers? Did y'all hear what he said? 12,000. That's hilarious. Shout out to Leonard. Leonard said Rob getting jumped into MS-13 for protection from the Venezuelan mafia. Man, that's hilarious. Check this out, man. Look at this. Hold on real quick. Okay, there we go.
Back with a crisis at the border, a record 12,000 undocumented migrants stopped in a single day by Border Patrol this week. And as Julia Ainsley reports, it's adding up to more strain on some of America's biggest cities.
Tonight, Denver, joining the growing list of cities struggling to handle a record surge of migrants, with entire blocks full of migrants sleeping on the street.
Oh, it is a crisis.
Mike Johnston is one of five Democratic mayors recently writing President Biden, saying action is needed to help cities.
So now all of these mayors are writing Biden for help, and Biden's ignoring them. Does anybody see the pattern here? If you guys see the pattern, then give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't see the pattern, then maybe somebody in the comment section who does see it will be nice enough to explain it. But there should be, right? There should be a pretty clear pattern of what's going on. I mean, look at this. I'm not making this stuff up. There's a lot of people that just fly off the handle and they got jokes for days about every single mayor. We could tell some jokes like that, you know, for a little bit. It's funny. But what's most important is to detect the pattern. You know what I mean? And the pattern is that all of these mayors are asking the federal government for money, and the federal government is acting like they don't hear them. That's the pattern. So now what we need to then ask is, why is the federal government ignoring these people?
One of five Democratic mayors recently writing President Biden, saying action is needed to cities address the crisis. What's the one thing you want from the Biden administration right now?
When you admit someone for asylum in the country, they should get work authorization. We should expedite the process of approving that application so it doesn't take 4 years. It could take 30 days.
Johnston is under increasing pressure from counties outside of Denver that are not taking in migrants. Suburban Douglas County passing a resolution demanding Denver drop its status as a sanctuary city, a jurisdiction where officials won't.
Now, here's my question. How many people knew that Denver is going through the same thing? Denver is going through the same thing as Chicago, and the residents of Denver are pissed, and they're asking for the sanctuary city status to be dropped. Why is it that the news hasn't done a report on the national rejection of the notion of sanctuary cities? All of these cities that are sanctuary cities in the midst of this migrant crisis are saying, we don't want to be sanctuary cities anymore. Here's my question for you guys. How many news reports have you all seen where the media is talking about the rejection of the sanctuary city status? Has anybody done any content talking about that? There's a shift in momentum to how people used to support the sanctuary cities. Now they don't want sanctuary cities. No, ABC, Fox, CNN, none of them have touched that.
Denver that are not taking in migrants. Suburban Douglas County passing a resolution demanding Denver drop its status as a sanctuary city, a jurisdiction where officials won't enforce federal immigration laws. Critics say that attracts more migrants, with illegal crossings at the southern border this year at record highs.
What would you like to see the city do?
I'd like the city to actively proclaim that it is not a sanctuary city. I think it's important that we're not bringing people to a cold weather climate.
There are more than 2,600 migrants in Denver's shelter system, and now nearly 30,000 who have come through Denver in the last year, costing taxpayers more than $32 million so far.
Denver shelters are full, with some migrants now sleeping in tent encampments like these, where temperatures drop below freezing at night.
It just seems like pretty inconvenient for them and for us. Really, a lot of people in this apartment complex are concerned.
Families with children are given priority in Denver shelters. We meet a group of adults who just arrived. Genesis from Venezuela said they don't know where they're supposed to go next. We don't know. We have no knowledge, direction, location, she tells us. Jan saying, we had to go through 7 countries on foot through the jungle. We came for the opportunity for the work permit.
Mayor Johnson says Denver expects to spend as much as $100 million on migrants in the next year, but they're only budgeted for $20 million.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about break.
They're going to spend $100 million, but they're only budgeted for $20 million. So here's my question for you guys. I need people to help me make that math make sense. Is there anybody that can help me make that math make sense? Can we get that math to work out somehow? They're only budgeted. What did they say? They're budgeted for 20 million, right? But they can only afford, but they're budgeted for 20 million, but they're expecting to spend 100 million. Man, they're going to be in such a huge deficit. It doesn't make any sense. So despite the fact that they're spending all of that money, we got jobs.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Delighted to be here with Henry Braga, who is our Executive Director of the Department of Human Services. We are here today to give you an important update on the city's effort around the support of our migrant arrivals in Denver. Right now, the good news is we have facilities that are open. We are being able to welcome newcomers and getting them into housing. The most important crisis we have right now is staffing. We need the people of Denver to be able to step up and actually help us make sure the city remains welcoming through the holidays. Right now, we've seen increased numbers of arrivals. We're close to about 2,700 individuals right now who are in shelter. As I mentioned, we have sites, we have resources, but we need the staff to help lead these shelter sites. And so what we are announcing today is that we are starting a rapid onboarding process to bring on new hires to do this work. So this Friday will be our first event where interested people who want to come and work for the city to help support these shelters can come to a one-day hiring event. We'll bring people on, we'll interview them, we'll train them. You can be starting work by the end of this Friday, which means we will have staff in place to be able to support newcomers here and throughout the city. And so
they got a whole job fair for all these jobs. Yeah, facts, Deneen, and the city remains welcoming. I want people to see this. Like, we got an election coming up next year. I want to have a content library where people can go back and watch these videos and look at the assessments on a lot of these situations and be able to make good, sound decisions based on their observations. That's what I'd like to see.
So I'll turn over to Anne Marie in a minute to talk a little bit more about the details of that process. I think the most important takeaway message is wherever I travel around the city, people always ask, hey, what's happening with the migrants? What are we doing to make sure they have the resources they need? How can I help? This is our moment for Denver to help by saying, if you are someone that's looking for work right now, this pays between $25 and $32 an hour. We have day shifts, we have overnight shifts, we have part-time, we have full-time. But your ability to come and support migrants and support the city, both make sure that we can provide clear and high quality services throughout the holiday break. Also make sure that we have people that are welcomed, that get access to the kind of navigation we can provide. These jobs help people get checked in, connect them to housing services, to work services, to get them enrolled in schools, all the things that help make them part of the community. But that first person to meet them and welcome them is incredibly important. That is why we have a very high degree of priority for folks that are Spanish speakers, that are bilingual. We do know most of our new arrivals are Spanish speakers. So
most of our new arrivals are Spanish speakers. So when it comes to these videos, why do they keep showing the Africans? If you guys heard that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys did not hear that, give me a thumbs down. Most of the new arrivals are Spanish speakers. Okay, well, if most of the new arrivals are Spanish speakers, why is it that every time we look at one of these videos, y'all are constantly putting Africans all over the screen for people to see? We know why you're doing it. We just asking if y'all gonna be honest about saying it, which we know you're not. But we're putting the question out there anyway.
That's incredibly important. That is why we have a very high degree of priority for folks that are Spanish speakers, that are bilingual. We do know most of our new arrivals are Spanish speakers, so we're looking for our bilingual residents from all around the metro area to be able to come forth, apply to help support the city. Come this Friday for single day hiring fair. We'd love to get you up and onboarded to help staff the needs we have all across Denver. With that, I'll get over to Ann Ryder to talk a little more about the process and the details for people that want to know more.
Thank you, Mayor. So I've been the executive director for nearly 2 months. And the one thing that I can say in this position is that this work cannot be done alone. This is why we need your help. So I'm going to just give you some of the details. As the mayor said, we're really looking for bilingual staff. The event will happen at the Wellington Webb Building on the 4th floor this Friday, December 8th. There will be 2 sessions, one between 8 and noon and one between 1 and 5. Interested candidates are encouraged to pre-register by submitting an application and then indicating which session they would like to be a part of. And they can do that through Denver.gov.
So I don't think we need to go through the job process, because I don't think any of you guys plan on applying for a job with doing any of that. I just wanted to show you guys what they're offering people and what they've set aside over in Denver for the migrants there to make their transition easier, which I find fascinating. We're going to be talking about this more. We're also going to be talking about other stuff. Okay. Like I said, because of the Undocumentados channel, I'm not going to stop doing the Undocumented Bro series here. On the Undocumentados, there's just going to be more detailed information. And shout out to Beach Material. What's good with it, bro? Okay. So make sure that you guys are subscribed. And if you guys are not subscribed to Undocumentados, that channel is formerly known as Blacklight Revelations News, Reviews, and Reactions. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. Shout out to Denise, who's been supporting the channel for 3 months. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen, who's been supporting the channel for 8 months. Shout out to Shamika, who's been supporting the channel for 6 months. Shout out to Flowers, who's been supporting the channel for 4 months. Shout out to my man TD Hip Hop Media with the $10 super chat. Shout out to Hurricane IQ for supporting the channel for 3 months. Shout out to Val for the $5 super chat. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,
walk up in the life. Yeah, I'm really talking my shit like I'm really him. Hold up, look, walking this bitch like, hey. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey. I'm really him. Don't believe me? Come and see me. Got 3 wishes from my genie. Now I'm on your local TV. Y'all on tour. Got demons. Say she wanna come and see me when I'm in a local city. I'm like, pause though. Please step aside so they can see me. And I walk up in this like, yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this like, yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, I'm really him. I'm the realest from my city. That's on my knee, that's on Kiwi, that's on mamas. Nigga, don't believe me, come and see me. I been dodging dodging all that face. All these niggas working broke, but I been getting paid. All that know me from the street. Flexing for a feature, that's like every other week. Talk behind my back, I kick my feet up, have a seat. Cause at the end of the day, all these watching me as I walk up in this life. Yeah, I'm really am. Talking my shit like I'm really am on God. Walk up in this life. Yeah, I'm really am. Talking my shit like I'm really am on God. Walk up in this life. Yeah, I'm really am. Talking my shit like I'm really am. Hold up. Look, walking this life. Hey. Yeah, I'm really am. Talking my shit like, hey.